Ska Kid. We're at Palace Day Shilarino. It is Thursday night, and this is the interview portion of the show. Previously, if you go back and check the video, we had the performance portion. Party Marty is joining us.
Hello.
Hi. So this will be a really quick introduction. You are Party Marty, and you play everything in your band.
I do. I play the guitar, the vocal cords, the right foot bass drum, and the left foot tambourine.
So what made you want to be a one-man band?
Honest answer, it's because I can't find anybody reliable enough to play as often as I want to play.
And as far as I know, you play like all of the time. You're playing all of the time.
Every weekend. Yeah, I'm playing Fridays and Saturdays, some Sundays, some Thursdays.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing the Party Marty thing for like 4 or 5 years now. I've been playing about every weekend for like the last 3 years.
Wow. So previous to becoming a solo musician, did you play in any other bands? And currently, do you like guest spot in any?
I do. My actual number one trade is drumming. I teach drum set lessons during the week, and that's my day job. And I fill in on drums for bands here and there. I've been playing with Ricky Orta Jr. I've played with Dirty Boogie. In the past, I've played with Ecstatic. Cover bands are ones that I do substitute work with.
So how easy or difficult is it being a one-man band? And you've kind of upped the game. Most of our singer-songwriters have just been acoustic guitar or plugged in, but not the drum piece. What made you want to distinguish yourself as doing that?
Well, I am not the next American Idol. And I am no Jimi Hendrix. So I figure if I get everything else involved, I can distract you from the fact that I'm mediocre at both.
But you teach drum lessons.
I teach drum lessons, yeah. I'm great at drums.
Okay.
Guitar and singing, I get by.
So what made you like kind of push yourself to want to do those two things?
Guitar and singing, because being a drummer in a band, you still need the band. And then when you can't find somebody to do the singing, you just learn how to sing. And when you can't find somebody to play guitar, you're not going to bring your drum set out to a bonfire. So, I mean, you're going to start noodling around on a guitar.
So when did you pick up guitar?
I always had a guitar sitting around my house. And I kind of learned that very slowly, whereas when I learned drums, I concentrated on it and learned that really quickly and practiced a lot. I started guitar in maybe when I was 12 or so. I just had a guitar sitting around the house. I couldn't actually play through a full song until I was like 20, 21.
Wow. So when did you pick up drums?
Must have been 5th grade, so the year like 99 or 2000.
Okay. And then from that it just branched into what it is now. Where do you come up with, a lot of your songs you said are personal and like you know people, but what makes you want to write a song, and were you writing before actually performing them?
Yeah, so in 2015, or I think it was 2015, my buddy started this group called Song a Week, where we all got on this internet, on the Facebook group, and we wrote a song, and everybody just listened to everybody else's songs and put comments on the SoundCloud link and whatnot, and we did a song every single week. And I pumped out so many songs that year. I pumped out like 40 songs that year.
Wow.
And it just creating the habit of doing that all the time. I was always putting notes in my phone and always just jotting things down, and then always putting aside a time for inspiration to hopefully hit. And when I said, okay, Mondays and Tuesdays I'm going to work on some songwriting, and if I did that week after week, eventually some good stuff came out.
So what do you do first when you sit down to write a song or a piece of music? Are you picking up a guitar first? Do you have drums in your head first? Do you have lyrics? Or tell us about your writing style and how your songs come to fruition.
My songs often start with the punchline, which naturally things should end with. But if I think of a good line, like, I might be late, but I'll be there. I should write a song off of that. And then I'll write the first part of that chorus. And then I'll write a verse that leads up to that. I kind of work backwards.
Wow.
From the
It's
most
almost like
important
stream
part.
of consciousness writing.
Right, yeah.
Gotcha. That's kind of unique. Because you are playing so frequently, and after we had started to see Party Marty as a thing, then you had messaged us, and it was like, all of your shit popped up. Like, how do you kind of balance being able to perform as often as you do? What's that like?
Well, the only part of it that's really work is the setup and the teardown. Between that, I'm having a bunch of fun and hoping that people tip me in the meantime. Oftentimes, I'm playing a 4-hour show, just me, and I'm playing a bunch of cover songs and splicing my original songs in there because that's what they do at dive bars. They want to hear that Sweet Home Alabama, that Brown-Eyed Girl. And thanks, bar owners, for paying me to play those songs.
So how did you market yourself as Party Marty? How did that name come to be?
It started out as just somebody, I was probably just like a little kid, like 8 or 9 or 10, and somebody said, "Oh, Party Marty," and just made, like my older brother's friend or something, made the rhyme, and I cried. I hated it. I was traumatized by it. And then later on, I'm like, yeah, Party Marty, that's a cool thing. All right, I'll be Party Marty. And then it started out as a witty rhyme, and then it became I am always doing upbeat songs and the fun stuff, the stuff that everybody knows, and then it just caught on.
Will there be a Party Marty song? Like, just how you came to have your name? Because we have Fuck Suicide, and then, that would kind of be like, here's this heartache that turned into a negative, turned into a positive. It was growth.
That's, you're giving me ideas.
Right?
My phone's dead, I can't jot down ideas right now.
What
I'll have to watch the video
paper?
later. Yeah, no shit. That would be an awesome thing. I've got songs that I've written about characters that I've made up. I've got, my CD has 16 tracks on it. 1 track's for every ounce in a pint, naturally. And I still have I have enough songs for another couple albums that I still need to get out there. And I've got a bunch of half of songs written that I need to finish too. And there's just no end to it. There's ideas coming in all the time, and some stuff just dies, and some stuff just blossoms that you didn't think would.
Are you still doing the song a week thing?
I have not been as diligent about it, but I really miss doing it and forcing myself to write a song every single week.
Kind of like Merch Monday. Sorry, guys.
Merch Monday, you guys. Take a picture of the shit that you buy at local shows, send it over to Jess the Ska Kid and say, "Hey, it's before Monday, and this is my merch," and then she'll put it up on Monday for merch.
Yeah, and so far, I think there has kind of been a positive take to that, because people that both you and Anson have posted have then kind of paid attention, and that's the whole point of doing that. And I would have to say, having met both of you online first as personalities before meeting you in person, you are very strong and staunch promoters of the local scene, which is important and significant, especially because both are just yourselves. You're not backed by several other people who should support you. And so how does that work within your musical community? You're doing a lot of promotion of all of these other people. What is reciprocated back to you as a singer-songwriter?
What I get out of it is not necessarily what I'm always concentrating on. As with promoting live music, it was the same thing as being a one-man band. Like, somebody's got to do it. So I found bars that say, "Hey, would you let me play a show? Would you let me and my 6 band friends play a show?" And yeah, they would. So let's get 4 bands out at this bar. I'll bring the PA. And then that turned into a thing, and I do that quite a bit. Now I book festivals, and I booked a couple bars that, like I book Club 400 in Waukesha, I book Zox in Janesville, I booked the Glacier Valley Music Fest, I booked the Cinco de Mustache Music Festival. I'm all over, like, somebody had to do it. Somebody had to get this music scene a kick in the butt, and I wanted to do it.
So that kind of ties into another question, because you are doing a lot as far as festivals are concerned. Talk to those who are paying attention and watching what it takes to put together a festival, the time it takes, and then really like that give and take back, because a lot of people give, I think, promoters or bookers or people who are integral doing it a lot of flack. Well, they think it's an easy thing. Like, you can just ask these people and they're just going to play. And why don't these places just let you play? Because attitude, right? So, like, how do you go about setting up these festivals?
Oh, man. I learn a lot. And I started out not knowing anything.
Which was the first festival you did?
I did the first annual Glacier Valley Music Festival. And that was literally... It started out as, I think, 7 or 8 solo acts, and it got down to like 5 solo acts is what ended up playing. And nobody came to the festival itself. It was just the campers that were at the campground already. And we literally set up PA speakers on like a couple tables and then performed between them. And then we took it in a golf cart to another location at the campground and played over there. And then we took it in a golf cart to another location. And at one point, somebody's like, "Hey, Marty," because like my family owns the campground, so they know me. So, "Hey, Marty, who is this guy? This guy sucks." And I was like, "All right, it's your turn, buddy." So I came up to him and I said, "All right, you're up next. After his next song, you're going up there and taking the guitar." And that guy wouldn't stand up, so I said, "All right, see, exactly. Somebody's doing this, and you're not part of this." Mm. So that's how I got the idea to start the Fast and Loud stage. The stage for music that maybe some people don't like that are at a family campground. So we have the main stage and the Fast and Loud stage. The mainstream music and the punk and the swearing and stuff.
The punk and the swearing. You know, there are people who, I guess, identify as punk who don't swear. You have, like, a very weird, like, subculture of almost righteousness within that scene, because it is so obscure. They're vegan, they don't swear.
Will Smith punk.
Will Smith punk! But, like, there's even an outlet for that. But that's really neat, A, that you do it at a campground, and B, that you have support from family that allows you to do this. And, like, our experience currently with Union Park, it was a gamble for them. She has owned this place, she wants to bring new life into it, and so she's like, just don't break our stuff. Don't steal our stuff, you know, like there's...
It's the Sundays that you're doing?
Yes, so there's almost like a fear associated with music. So how do you kind of combat that mentality that, like, we're not going to fuck your shit up and it will still be okay?
Well, when it comes to booking music for me, I rebook people that treat people well.
Don't be an asshole.
You know, there's some bands out there that just sound great, and they're awesome musicians, but they're dicks, and I will not book them again.
It really, I'm biting my tongue.
You're biting
really fucking hard.
Gee, you've been through something like this before.
Not only been through, but watched it, and my thing is, and we go back to this, James White from the Trees of Life had said this on one of our first interviews that we did with him, back when we first started doing this show. Nobody wins the concert. Your pretentiousness does nothing but prohibit you from continuing to advance. Stop being a dick. Because when you feel you've reached this pinnacle, that you are above holier than thou, you can't learn and you can't grow. And that is going to create stagnation that kills you.
Absolutely.
Amen? Can I get an amen?
Amen, sister.
Ramen.
So ramen.
You crushed it.
Ramen? That's like without a condom. Just kidding. So
Ramen.
I know.
Fucking noodles.
I got the noodles. I was being disgusting. I took it to another evolutionary level. So where has this festival grown since then?
Sodium
Well,
strands.
that weekend it was, like I said, like 4 or 5 of us solo performers, and nobody came to the festival other than the people that were there for the weekend camping. Mm-hmm. Now we just had the 4th annual, and we've sold out 2 years in a row.
Awesome.
We have the busiest weekend that this campground has all year.
Where is it?
It's in Cambria, Wisconsin, which is kind of near the Dells, just north of Madison. We've got, it was 31 different acts this year, bands, solo acts, everything. The first year we made $0. This year we got to pay all the bands. We got some cool sponsors. We've got, oh man, a lot of Summerfest performers came. A lot of really talented people come to this little...
You're very tied into Summerfest, too. How did that come to be? Because Summerfest, to me, is almost an enigma, and there have been several local bands that have been able to play, and we've had a lot of people come through this basement and then got to play on different stages, I think one of yours. And so how did you tackle that beast and get into that?
You guys, if you want something bad enough, you can get it. If you want anything bad enough, just go for it. So, Summerfest.
You can get it if you really...
There's a couple there's the big stages like the BMO Harris Pavilion, the AmFam Amphitheater, and all
Prison
this.
Stratton, because you build shit. Sorry.
So, these stages have budgets, and they hire big bands, national touring bands. And then there's a couple of the smaller stages that hire bands like that have seen this floor here. The Rebel stage, the ground floor stage, are the independent music stages there. And we have no budget, and we hire local talent, and we hold auditions, and people play just for the love of playing. Like, we don't have any budget to give them, and we wish we did. And we wish we could get a sponsor, but that's against the rules. And
because the music industry is evil.
I want to add something. Those auditions, though, even though there is winners in the auditions that are guaranteed, I've seen just about every single artist that has showed up at those auditions end up playing at the ground first stage anyways, even though they didn't win.
We had an audition at the back bar, and we
we promoted that.
We awarded spots to, I think, 3 different artists that night. But there was another 3 from that audition that still got spots. Cat and the Hurricane. She auditioned in Racine. They auditioned in Racine. Candace Griffin.
Yep, she's going to be on our show later this year.
She's...
Yep, and then Andy.
She's awesome. Oh, and Andy Heath?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, she's one of my comrades at the ground floor stage.
Yep.
So, anyways, for the ground floor stage, I went to an audition 4 years ago for the ground floor stage. It was their second year at the festival, and I auditioned, and I did not make it. And other people that I saw that deserved it made it. But I saw who was running things, and I saw what was going on, and that these people were my age, and that these people are doing very similar things that I did. So I just reached out to them. I was like, hey, let's play a show together. So me and my buddy John Rouse played some shows together at Club 400. And then we met Andy, and we all played some shows together, and we all started becoming friends, and I just became... At one point I told John, I said, hey, I'm going to be at Summerfest. I'm going to pay my way in, and I'm going to be there every day. So if you need help, just let me know. He's like, all right, I got you passes for every day. And I was like, what? So then I was part of the crew, and now there's a couple of us. Gene Gruber is one of them that the 4 of us run the ground floor stage, and we book all local artists and no dicks.
It's hard to come by that, yeah. But I would have to say we so far have come across very genuine people, which is why I like doing this show. How open are you then moving forward with your festivals, like having bands from not here come play?
I've had touring bands come. I've got friends from New York that came this past year. I've had friends from Arizona that have come around and played, from Texas, from all over the place. I've gone on tours myself and met people, and I've noticed with touring bands, a lot of time, if you're the first place they book, they'll often bail out because they didn't book anything around you. Right. But if you're the one they squeezed into other dates that they've got, if you know they're coming around, then you can trust them. This is the bands that I don't know. Mm-hmm. The bands that I do know, I already know them as characters, and I know how much to trust them. But touring bands, I'm a little weary of, but I can usually judge a character okay.
Mm-hmm. What, as far as, Club 400, which was, I think, relatively new, or at least it was relatively new to me, and then Cat and the Hurricane played it after being on here, I think, last year, and it had just kind of gotten up and running. How were you able to, establish that? Because one of the main things we've noticed is that bands have a hard time trying to break into other venues because, for some reason, bar owners have almost a distrust in music, which I don't get as a bar owner, because it doesn't fucking matter what comes and plays in your place. people like to drink, and the regulars will be there. And even if they talk shit, they're fucking buying beer talking shit. And then even if they leave, they've purchased beer from you. So how did you get that established?
So Club 400 was a place that like always bragged about their wings. So I went in there every Tuesday for wings in 2014. And 2015 continued the same tradition. Eventually, I got to know the bartenders, all of them. I was there every single Tuesday. Knew the bar owners, knew the bartenders, and I eventually asked the bar owner, "Hey, what do you think about doing some live music in here?" So he's like, "All right, we could do that." And first show it was like $100 for like 5 of us that split the bill or something. And he's like, "Hey, that went well, so let's do another one." So we did another one and bumped up the price a little bit years later, and now we can pay each band a little bit, and we can get real bands, and I tiptoed my way.
Ones? No.
Well, we can get like not just solo acts. I mean,
Gotcha.
we can get 4 or 5 piece bands, whereas the first show that we did was 4 or 5 solo acts, just playing acoustic guitars.
So here is a question that is intrusive. So answer if you not want to, or pass me along. But it's an important question because it has become kind of a soapbox issue for me with people paying promoters or paying to play. How, like, do you as a performer, because there is kind of discussion about this, do you have an asking price? Or do you just kind of go with the flow and say, I'll play regardless? And kind of what is your view on either having an asking price and sticking to that, or just kind of going with the flow and hoping you get something? How much is music a commodity to you?
I do different shows all the time. I'll be completely transparent. Sometimes when I book my 4-hour shows, I'm asking for $250. Because I'm setting up...
That's nothing.
That's nothing. For a solo act that's providing the sound and the lights and everything. I've been in bands that have asked $600 or $700 for a night.
Hold on. He said he provides his own sound and lights. That alone, as a discounted price to you, is almost $600. Just so people are aware.
Yeah, I'm the little guy. Like, this is not much at all. I'm the one that the bars don't have enough space for a full band, but they can get a one-man band in the corner. I asked for $250 for that. Oftentimes, when I split the bill with other bands, like, and bands, you better fucking do this, is if you're a supporting act for a touring act, whatever share you're about to make, that goes to the touring guys. I've been the touring guys. That gas money needs to go in their tank. I'm only 20 minutes down the road and I'm sleeping in my own damn bed. So I'll play for free and I'll play for $250. I just booked another show for $400 in a couple weeks.
So, you've talked about going on tour. Where have you gone on tour? And when you book a tour, are you seeking out first bands and then hoping they establish the venue? Or are you reaching out to venues and then supplementing, hopefully, bands that are going to play with you?
So I was on one tour last year. And it was a 2-week tour, and I went on the East Coast and down and back. I kind of went up to New York City and around all those because I found that all the major cities that are so close together makes driving in the gas tank a lot easier. Whereas in the Midwest, you go, like Chicago from Milwaukee is like your short commute. And then you got to get to the Twin Cities. And then you got to get all the way to Fargo. And you're still like... 9-10 hours, and then everything is so spread out. So I decided to do the East Coast because all those were easy. And if I were to book another tour, I would first hit up all the people that I know, that I met on that first tour. Because they know what to expect, they know what I'm playing, they know what kind of person I am. And then for those empty spots in between, I go searching for venues. Or see if those guys can help me with something for this date. Which I get asked a lot in Wisconsin, too, because I know people that are coming through, hey, we're coming through Wisconsin, can you help me out with this, and this? Of course I can, because we all help each other out. That's what this music business is about.
Good. And I like that you also aren't just segregated to singer-songwriters. That kind of being said, the other singer-songwriters that we've had in our basement, or that we know, do play out quite frequently with, not established, but like a band that is more than one human. So where do you fit in that? How well received is that when you're like, I'm Party Marty, but we have, say, this 4-piece behind us, or this ska band that, you know, I'm opening for?
Sometimes.
Or doesn't, and then you meet them at Culver's and you get their merch. Fuck you, Chris. I hope your tour's going good.
So oftentimes I fall into that opener role. Sometimes I'm the solo act in front of the set tricks changed behind me. Sometimes I'm Party Marty and the Bastards. Or Party Marty and the Dirtbags.
I like the Dirtbags thing.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's when have you seen some videos of us doing stuff?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll get a drummer and a bassist and a guitarist, and I'll be on acoustic guitar, and it'll basically be a pop punk band with my songs.
And that's why when I had messaged you, I'm like, okay, so what's coming here tonight? Are you doing originals, acoustic, like covers? Is it this? Is it that? So
I've got so many different hats that I put on. I've got 70 covers that I'll do some nights at bars, and then I've got like Club 400 is originals only. I'll play originals only. Ask me if I had the choice, I'll play my originals.
So then, how would, if somebody is watching and paying attention, be able to contact you to be able to get onto one of these shows that you do?
Facebook, find me Party Marty. It looks like that, only it's not pink and blue, it's other colors.
I really like the koozie. Merch Monday. Hashtag Merch Monday.
So these koozies are out of print. Those koozies are from 2 years ago. It's from my buddy's disc golf company that says I fling plastic. Yep.
Oh! Ah! So we had a crew member here.
Had.
Hard had.
Hard day.
Hard.
Hard had. Oh.
Like HAD, like he used to show up, he got a new job, he can't come anymore. His name was Beer Guy.
Yes.
So he is a frisbee golfer and actually
Frolfer.
Frolfer? Why?
No, disc golf.
That's the preferred term.
No.
Frisbee is a trademark
No.
name.
Nope. He doesn't
I know it's-
work here anymore. He's a frisbee
Ready for my
golfer.
soapbox?
Yes. So that would be, haha, I got a piece of merch I know you want. So I win.
There you go.
Thanks. I don't have anything cool like this. But that being said, like, because you do wear multiple hats and are all over the place, who does this logo? Did you have a friend do it? Did you do this?
I found a font online that I like. It's called Rat Infested Mailbox. It's sweet. So then I took the Y's came down, and I like that. So I put the T's really long too. So I like the contrast of the Y's and the T's going opposite ways.
Ta-da!
That's on my bass drum. That's on my shirts. That's on my koozies.
Ta-da! Yeah, that's like your main symbol. Like,
Yeah, that's the logo. Yeah, I use that for
this is
everybody.
the branding.
That's absolutely what it is. Yeah.
Rat infested mailbox.
Yep, that's the font. But I edited it a little bit.
So you're like 100% do it yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay, ready for another soapbox?
Yep.
Yay, I love it. So, do you use a distributor? Do you go through CD Baby, DistroKid, anything? And
This is something I wanted to talk to you about.
Yay! Please talk to me. Don't fucking do it. Oh my god, don't do it.
Currently, I have my songs on a CD, but that's it.
Great. Great. Do you know why? Because that's...
Because I want to own my publishing, and I want to own my...
He listens! He listens.
Yes!
Actually,
she knows things.
Actually, Caitlin, who I
Yes.
think you sent our way,
Yes.
messaged us recently. Was like, oh my god! She had messaged us months ago, and she's like, Party Marty said that you would know how to do this, and I said, well, do what? And she's like, how do I publish my music? Will you publish my music? I was like, I don't publish music. I will teach you how to do this. And I wrote her out this thing. Hadn't heard from her in months. She messaged us probably 2 weeks ago and was like, here's my new music. This is what I did. Thank you so much. You helped me do this. And I was like, ah. We actually played her stuff 2 weeks ago on our show.
Awesome.
On the 11th. So you can hear Caitlin, I think it's Piccolo. Right?
Caitlin Pico.
Pico, sorry. And she is very Western country sounding.
Pop, country,
Super cool. And I was kind of blown away that someone listened. I want more people to listen to this Because if you want your music to be your music, super fucking easy. Does it take some time? Yes. Is it going to be your time? You spend time being something anyway. You brand yourself, you come up with a logo, you create your music, so why the fuck would you pay for someone to steal your shit? So, now that you have your music, super easy. You can format it into any sort of file that you want to format it into. Kif just did this with the scraps. You can post it on Bandcamp. You can post it on SoundCloud.
It's on Bandcamp. It's on SoundCloud.
Great. So you already have those two major platforms that will allow you to submit your music to places like Spotify independently. So I have a link for that too. I can send that to you. And you go through the same process that people who pay CD Baby go through too. You submit your music, and if they choose to select you, you get selected to be into that. You're allowed to submit an album at a time. So if you have multiple things recorded and they say no to the first one, you are able to then submit as yourself independently another one. Also, Pandora, which is super hard to get into.
Really?
However, yes, because what they do is they legit have a listening crew. Everybody, regardless if you're CD Baby, DistroKid, etc., and you've given these people money to be distributed, have to go through the same process. They have a listening crew that listens to everything in its entirety that you submit to them, and they will vote. Yes, they judge you. If you get the thumbs up, you get put on. However, and I have to say, and I don't care if this kills me in the ska community, I was listening to my shuffle today, and the Abrupters from Buffalo, New York were on there, and it was their cover stuff. First off, it sucked. Second, I had to hit thumbs down. I can't do it! So
She feels bad about it.
I don't feel... I was like, this is bad. And it was bad because they covered Deal's Gone Bad, Be Mine Tonight. Now, that vocal style that is associated with that song is very strong. You have to do it right. Sorry, Abrupters, you are whiny and it was not well received. Thumbs down. So then later on, a special song came up. I was like, I can't fucking even do it. Boop. But bands like them and the Interrupters are becoming super popular because for some reason we regurgitated music.
Boring.
And I don't care if I'm an asshole. I don't want to hear another Gwen. I don't want to hear another Brody. I don't want to hear another Rancid. I want to hear something that is different, that might have influences of these people, but do have their own sound. Stop whining. Music shouldn't make you whine. We had a band send us stuff, and they were like, will you please review? Super well recorded, really good instrumentally, and I said, my one complaint is that you're whiny as fuck, and this is supposed to be an angsty album where it's full of emotion, and I can't get into it. I want to ground you because you're whining. So please, drop the bass in your voice. You'll have, cock and balls that I don't have, and my voice shouldn't be deeper than yours. Sorry, I'm a bitch, and I don't care. But if you're going to be angry about something, have that emotion behind it and don't try to sound like somebody else. There is a time and place, I guess, if you want to do that, but at least do it well.
Yeah, Tribute Island.
Oh, God! Tribute Island is horrible!
Fest 2019.
So yay. Take your music, and if you need help, it's easy to do. Plus, Google is amazing. And if you type in music distribution or platforms to be on, most of the major platforms you can post on anyway independently and still maintain that. The difference is metadata. And I know I've
heard you say this.
So this is how you do this. Metadata is the internet's way of learning. It's code. And so in order to increase your presence online, you want to have support. Your fans already support you. The one thing that we ask of anybody coming on the show is that they like the page as them, their band page, and then go to community, invite friends, invite all their friends. What does this do? If you're at an event and you tag a band, or you invite people to like that band's page, or your band's page likes that, you're teaching the internet. You're building a code, and it is starting to recognize the significance of what that thing that you've typed in is. This is metadata. It's free. Stop paying promoters to fucking do it. Learn something. I can type in @Jess the Ska Kid, @Jess the Ska Kid. Google now recognizes that @Jess the Ska Kid is a thing. we're a venue. And for some reason, we're on, like, Bands in Town rated as, like, 4 stars. And I don't fucking know how. But that will be the thing. Tell your friends to like your shit as their pages and invite their friends. And you do the same thing back. Because when you, as Party Marty, like, say, Army of Cretans, The Scraps, Josie Spoons, as Party Marty, that continues to build that web. The internet is all about webs.
Started doing this when you said this.
Yes,
too.
and significance. You will see growth. And if you go back through, you can continue to check your significance by just Googling your name. And it should start to pop up hits. What happens then in other countries is that they'll kind of like thieve your things. And because their internet is slightly different than ours, it will start to pull into their pools as well. So metadata is the way to build this.
The more you do it, the more it happens.
Right. So you're on Bandcamp. Like my Bandcamp. Follow my Bandcamp as your band, as your thing. Share that on your page. Have other people share that on your page. It teaches the internet that that is a significant thing. Teach the internet. That's what you're doing. It's all code. It's not some enigma. You don't have to pay somebody who wants to write the same thing on 50 bands' pages because that confuses the internet. Also, when you do shows, and here's a little like tip or sneak peek into how to continue to build relevance online. One event, tag the venue, make everybody involved a co-host. Again, it teaches the internet that that is a thing to go to. Not that we want Big Brother to follow us, but if we want to be known without having to pay people to do it, that's how you do that. And another important reason as to why I'm such a soapboxer for this issue is every single fucking band that we have had on here, and I can show you the litany of emails, pops up and goes, hey, copyright law, so-and-so owns the rights to this music. It's Distro Kid, TuneCore, CD Baby, Wild Acre, or whatever, Orchard Music. Sony, they actually silenced our page for a second and then relinquished that so that we could have sound again. But when you sign with a label, you're giving your shit away. There are independent labels that will help promote you. Sam Stout, who is from Radical Fun Time, runs his own independent label out of Minnesota. And he works with a collaborative of artists to publish your shit, gifted it for the Scraps. He puts together compilations and he distributes it himself on all of these other platforms. And so a third party is helping promote you, therefore maintaining your publishing rights. So in other, like CD Baby, it'll pop up and say, hey, by the way, this person owns your shit. And ads will run, and that revenue goes to CD Baby. It does not go to the artist. So the best way is to pay people via SoundCloud, via Bandcamp, YouTube. Make sure that people are watching your videos. Share those videos. Ask people to subscribe to that. YouTube has gotten pretty smart, and they continue to rewrite their rules. But right now, I believe it's 1,000 subscribers and 30,000 views, and you can start to monetize on your account.
I think it's about there.
So yeah.
So here you go. Here's a question for you.
We'll see if I have an answer for it.
So how does this all pertain to performing copywritten music, like bands that have put their songs on CD Baby and all that, that is now copywritten in venues who do not pay for the rights for copywritten music? So,
if somebody were, say, recording said copywritten music, that venue could be charged and fined. A lot of venues that are local who are having bands come in don't. So we worked with somebody recently like this. They don't pay to these major distributors a fee, so they can't publish the event, but the private promoter setting that up can. However, if for some reason it was recorded and a third party said, hey, this is copywritten material, that place could be fined, or the promoter putting it together could be fined. Copyright is a very interesting thing.
I've ran into a lot of issues.
Because it's broken into several different parts, because it's not just copyright as like an image, but it's copyright as publishing, or it's copyright as a lyric or something, and they've broken it down into like 3 different sects, which is why, and we talked to Josh out in Viva Ska Radio in Vegas they pay to be able to play music. They'll play anybody's music. The bands that have bought into paying those main three, and I forget.
CSAC, BMI,
yes.
and ASCAP.
Yes. So if they've paid that, they'll get monetization by being played on his radio station.
Okay.
So he'll play other people, but they won't get monetized unless they've paid those three major groups.
Right.
And this is why I want to destroy and restructure the whole music industry, because we really could own it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with co-ops, and it starts with promotion, and it starts with believing in each other. It doesn't matter if you like the other person's music. Are they a good musician? Are they dedicated? Are they helping promote you? This should be like a give and take thing. I'm a communist anyway, and so I kind of believe that should be it, because it takes all types. And sure, you like ska, but you like everything else too, because there are a few who are pigeonholed into one thing, but most people like things that are well received. You're well received. So there should be no reason why we don't help each other. So if you're watching this and you're like, hey, how do I help bands? Do you know how you help them? You like their page. You share their stuff. You invite people to like their page. You go to shows, and when you show up to a show, you tag said things, because metadata.
Spread the word.
Do that thing, and you don't have to spend money to do that.
No.
I grew up poor, and so I like free, and I like believing that if we work in collaboration, that shit works. Like, it really does. We should have shows that are potluck things so that people can eat and that there is community. We should also have shows that help promote wellness, because music does promote wellness. If you have a friend who's fucking up, you can't go to like a benefit to stop heroin and then bang smack with your friend. Like, those things don't fucking work. Be a friend. Does it make you an asshole to that person at that time? Yep, but might you have saved them? Sure. Open your mouth. Be conscientious of the folks and humans you associate with, because we love our dirtbags, but we don't want you to fucking die. Okay?
That's absolutely a fact.
Sorry. So that's that. So when you have done your music and you need help, let us know, and we'll help you do that.
Yes, and that is something that I couldn't wait to talk to you about, because I knew that you could do this Spotify and Apple Music shit, but like you're giving away half of your music, or the rights to half of your music. But I know there's a way you can do it where you can hold on to all of that.
We actually know quite a few people who've gone international instead of trying to be here, because it's far more well received, and they appreciate music because it's an actual thing you can go into as a profession. Because it actually takes a lot of fucking time, intelligence, dedication to be not only a musician, a sound engineer, and to record things. When you bring your PA, that isn't a haphazard thing. Here, I plugged in and like maybe you sound okay. Like, we pay people an exorbitant amount of money to bring PAs to shows for venues that don't have them.
Well, I'll hire people for hundreds so I don't have to do it. I have before.
So, I know that we've probably run out of time, so I want you, to talk about upcoming shows, where people can find you and where your music's available.
Okay, upcoming shows. This weekend I am playing Friday at Glacier Valley Campground in Cambria, Wisconsin. I'm playing Christmas in July.
That's the 26th, by the way. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, that's tomorrow. Whoa. I'm going to play Christmas songs and other bullshit. And then on Saturday, I'm playing at Pizza on the Farm in East Troy. This is an organic farm in East Troy that makes their own wood-fired pizza with all ingredients on the farm. And they have live bands.
That's awesome.
It's fucking sweet.
Tasty.
Yum.
And then on Sunday, I'll be at the Looking Glass in Janesville, Wisconsin for the PBR patio party.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, dogs and beer and food and beer and bands and stuff.
And beer.
No kitties.
Past that, I'm playing at Barkapalooza in Woodstock, Illinois. I'll be playing at Club 400 in Waukesha. I find my Facebook, Party Marty on Facebook, and there are tons of events. I play all over all the time.
Yes.
Eventually, I'll be close to where you live.
Wait, you're close now. We can be friends like this.
Yes.
You're also on Instagram as P Marty. Party Marty.
Party Marty.
There you go. It's a lot of P's.
It's Party Marty with 3 P's. Party Marty. It's like I had a stutter when I
You're on
signed up.
YouTube.
I'm on YouTube.
You're on Bandcamp.
I'm on Bandcamp.
You're on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Yes.
CD.
CD.
I have physical CDs. I also sell my music on a USB drive.
How cool is that? That's
You can get a little Stormtrooper that's Party Marty CD.
That's cool.
That's some future shit.
So what other merch do you have when people are coming out to support you?
So I have T-shirts that I've homemade. On the front they say I'm cheap, and on the butt they say Party Marty. They're $5 because I'm cheap. I've got CDs. I've ran out of koozies. I've got a couple stickers sitting around here and there. And oftentimes when you see me out playing live, like I have a whole big crate of
Stuff.
Of tambourines and shakers and baby toys. Baby toys were meant to be like, thrown on the ground and not broken, so it's perfect for drunk people.
They can be part of the show without breaking anything.
And if they do, don't worry about it. I got it at Goodwill anyways.
That's cool. I like that. Be part of the camaraderie that is Party Marty.
I'll put these things on the bar tables and people will be like, kind of give it a look. And then a couple beers later, they'll be like, and playing along with the stumbling band.
That's awesome. I like it.
And you have the big old plastic car keys.
Yeah, right.
You know why? Because they thought they were going to go home, but
Maybe
someone
switch
swapped
around.
it so they have no clue how to get home. That's great. Be a good friend. So in closing, anything you'd like to add, my friend?
There is a Party Marty song.
Oh, there is a... Oh, my buddy, Anson Obvious over here, wrote a song called Let's All Go to a Party Marty Show.
Because he is obvious. I like that. Good job.
He literally quotes, I think I counted like 8 or 9 of my songs he quotes in his song. It was one song. Let's all go to a Party Marty show. It's a great show. So there is a Party Marty song, that's right. In closing, find Party Marty, find the ground floor stage, find all these things on Facebook, and look out in the winter. If you want to play festivals, book them in the winter. If you want to play Summerfest, we're booking that in February. If you want to play Glacier Valley Music Fest, we're booking that in February. We're booking these things when the snow is still covered on the ground. So when it is nice and bright out, we can do all the other bullshit besides booking bands.
So that will take commitment. You'll have to dust your vehicle off and brave the scary Wisconsin winter to go audition for these things. But we will also continue to promote them. So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jess the Ska Kid, adult kid.
Whatever. On Sunday, we have Courtesy of Tim and Small Town Syndrome. Courtesy of Tim is from Madison. Small Town Syndrome is from Minnesota. So you will be able to watch us live or come. It's only $5. All of our money, we're very transparent, goes to the bands that play our shows. We do not profit off of the door money that comes in through that event. All of it goes there. The only money we profit from is when people buy our merch. Thank you, Anson. So, with that being said, you can catch us again Sunday, and then next week, I'm not prepared. I don't know what we have going on because there's been so much recently. I'm lost. But keep watching, and if you have bands, feel free to send them our way. If we are not open, what we do is we will put you on our playlists, and we'll continue to promote your music that way. Radio Hate, who had been previously on, had a video premiere tonight for Drugs. That's their new song. So you can go to their YouTube and check out their stuff because they played an hour before us. And so with that, catch us Sunday. Okay, thanks. Bye!